and this is Midday Trading. Okay, so as usual, we're going to take a look here at crude oil and natural gas. Remember, the rig count will be out at 1 p.m. today. But first of all, we're going to take a look here at NFLX, NFLX. This video is for information purpose only, not a recommendation to buy, selling stock commodity ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, here we have Netflix. Now, this stock has been an awesome runner. Obviously, you can see here. Look at this bad boy on the weekly. Okay, look, you got 162, and look at here. Look how nice that's tracking. Look at that. Look at that bad boy. All the way up here till we had the high at 773 here. Now, you can see here after earnings, we had a nice gap up here. Okay, so you always want to watch that gap. So just put this on your back burner. Not going to happen today, but who knows down the road, okay? So just watch that low, that 736.23. There's your gap. And then look at the top here, that's 704.41. So just put that on your back burner here in case this happens to get hammered sometime. This here will fill that gap here very, very nicely. Now you can see the sideways action after that nice gap up here, hit 773 here, and we're just going sideways here. So what we want to look on the upside is you want to look at 763.80. That was today's high. Then we'll come over here to the top of this candle. You look at it 768.50. Then we'll come over to the top of this candle, 769.70, and then 773 is your breakout. You break above that, obviously you're going to hit that 800 number. Not probably exactly, but 799.99 or some kind of a nonsense, But anyway, you can head towards that 800 mark very easily here. Now, on the downside here, you want to watch this 8 SMA. That's 754.79. That's going to be very, very key. And then you can see today's low, we had 747.77, but we're really looking at this low right here, 744.26 level. Okay, so this is going to be that's going to be your support level. Okay. Now again, if that's lost here, we had that nice 21-day at 736.72, and then just watch the bottom here. That's 736.23. That's going to line up very, very, very nicely. That is your gap. Doesn't mean you have to do the fill, but again, that's what you want to watch here. If this sideways action doesn't play out, you want to watch that gap and you want to watch that 21-day. Very, very key. If that fails, then we come down to that 50-day at 712.77, and then we had the top of that candle right there at that 704.41 here. But right here, this is really, really a nice, good, solid here after the earnings, and 773 there is your breakout. Now you can see here on the weekly here, what just a beautiful chart here, bottom left, upper right, everything is trailing just very, very nicely. So we got to see how this is all going to shake out, but you are kind of like at a nosebleed section. But one thing I do want to point out to you is right here, okay, a couple divergences. So you look at this RSI, see this high, okay, then we had a high, then we have an even higher high, but we have a lower high here. See this? That's negative divergence. We have the same thing going on right here. Okay, so you have this high situation going on, and then we made a real nice high, but we have a lower high here. That's a negative divergence here. So just, always keep that in mind here. So that's usually kind of like the first tell situation. And then again, if that green crosses below that red here, you could have a sell right on down. Okay, let's take a look here now at the old crude oil. Okay, here we have the old crude oil. Now again, this has been a really good trader here today. Actually went on the short side a little bit here because you couldn't get through this resistant level here. Now, but the short is going to be off here, and I still have a long in play, okay? So here's what we got going on here. This is basically just a whole war situation. Iran came out yesterday, said they are going to retaliate against Israel, and usually those retaliations come on the weekends there, okay, when you can't really trade or anything like that. So we got to see how this is going to be. Because if they retaliate, then Israel's going to retaliate, and this is going to be a whole mess. There's no peace. There's no nothing there. So again, this is the war premium like we had here, and now we have it going on here. But when you look at this chart here, it's still in a bearish downtrend pattern, okay? So we look at the high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So you just draw a line there. This is a bearish pattern going on here until you start breaking up above all of these, like that 72.34, and then you can reverse it to go on up here. But again, if there is some kind of an oil facility or anything that is struck, this can go to that 78.46 retest there in probably, 2 seconds, okay? So always remember that. So what we're watching here today is we're watching on the downside. Just watch that 69.74 on a closing basis. We got to see how that's going to shake out. If that's lost, we'll come to the top of this candle here. You're looking at 69.17. Then we look to yesterday's low. Okay, you're looking at 68.30. And then you just read the candles right on down here. What you got is you got 67.28. And then we'll come down to the bottom here, 66.92. And then you have your retest at 66.72, which is basically the bottom of that candle situation. Okay, so that's what you want to watch there on the downside. Now, again, if that 66.72 is lost, then we come over to the bottom of this candle, 66.33, you come to the bottom of this candle, 65.63, and then your big retest down here at 65.27. Those are your support levels. I'm not saying that's where it's going to go, but that's how we got to take a look at it, because we do have that downing situation, that series of lower highs and lower lows kind of a situation. So you have a downtrending chart going on here. Now, let's say this thing starts ripping up here. Well, we want to look to yesterday's high. Okay, so you're looking at 70.81, and then we want to come up to this 50-day at 71.14. And then we want to watch that 71.54, which is your 21 SMAs here. So when you look at this where it went today, it went through the 50-day, where it went into the 21. See, this is why you trade the charts. You know where it's going. I mean, if you know where it's going, okay, how much money could you have made? Okay, so when you see this gap down here, now that gap is filled, so we don't have to worry about that. But you see this, and you see a lower low, and then the next day you see a higher low and a higher high. That means you got to get into the trade and take it right on up here. But you know where it's going to stop. If you break above that, then we know where the next level is. Okay, we know where the next level. Okay, but again, couldn't get through there, so that tells me I got to get a short ski. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're trading here between this 8 SMA 69.75 and this 50 SMA here, which is 71.15, and that 21 day at 71.54. So there's your bottom. If you lose that, we follow the candles down until you get a retest. If you break that, then we come up here to the top of this candle, 72.34, and then we'll come right here to the bottom there. You're looking at 73.26. We'll come up here, okay, 74.45, and then we have your Hondo right there at 74.97. Above that, right there is your target, okay, 76.24, and then we have 77.16. There's your 200-day, and then your retest at 78.14. So this is why you want to trade the charts. Don't let anybody tell you this after looking. That's all bullshit. They just don't know how to trade the charts, okay? Just that simple, okay? You're buying support and you're selling resistance. That's what you're really doing. You're not really trading crude, or you can do that in anything. If you're trading crude oil or gold or silver, or if you're a stock, that's all you're doing is buying support and selling resistance. That's it, just like we had here, okay? Now look at a nice trade this is. Double top right there, and it came on down. Right into Hondo, came right down. 200-day came right on down. 200-day came right on down. 100-day came right on down. Okay, so now we're right back into that same scenario again. So we got to see if it's going to break up here or it's going to come right back down here, and then we take another scalp ski and go right back up. Okay, let's take a look here now at natural gas. Okay, natural gas just can't get off the old schneid. Okay, so if you watched my video yesterday, I said this here is very, very bearish, because what you're doing is you got a high, lower high, low, lower low. That's never good, and we want to see what's shaking out today. Obviously, you know, I scalped the KOLD there today, and I got my 2 points out of KOLD. That's what I really shoot for on the short side, is just like 2 points out of KOLD, and that makes a good trading day for that short ski. Okay, so right now I have no position in the natural gas, and I will not hold that over the weekend. Even though you can make money at it, I just don't trust it. It can go all the way up. That's why I call this the Widowmaker, you know, for nothing. Okay, so now we put in a lower low. This is a bearish, very bearish pattern, just like we had here. Okay, just like we have here, just like we have here. Okay, so now the question is, will it hold this 8 SMA here if it sells right on down? Okay, so you're sitting at 2.64 level here. We're looking for the top of this candle right here at 2.62 level. Okay, so far we're holding this 2.62 level, and then the next one I'm going to be looking for is that 8-day sitting at let's just call it 2.6, and then right below it we have that 21-day 2.55, and then this is what you're going to be looking for at top of that candle, 2.51. There's your gap fill. Okay, see, now we have the gap, then we had the fill. So we're into this gap the opposite way now. Okay, we're not like this. Here's the contract roll, it gapped up and it kept right on going. This is the contract roll, and we're falling right off the old map here. Okay, but right now here, you know, we got to just see how it all shakes out. So right now the trade was short. Okay, right into see if that 8-day holds. You need to hold that 8-day. If not, you're going to go down to that 21-day at 2.55, and then we're going to look at the top of that candle. Okay, 2.51, and that's lost. You got your 50-day sitting there right there at 2.46. Okay, so that's your downside right there. Upside, we just follow the candles, okay? So look to yesterday's low. What do you got? 2.68. And then you look at today's high, okay? Very simple, 2.72. And then you look to the bottom of this candle, okay? 2.77. Look to the top of yesterday's high, 2.83. And then we come up here, 2.91. And then you have your big retest up there at 3.0. But right now, this is very, very bearish. There's nothing positive about this at all. This looks lower. We got to see what kind of reaction we get when it hits the old 8-day. Okay, that's what I got for you, and I'll be back here after the old pick close, and we'll take a look here at Crude oil, natural gas. Remember, the rig count will be out there at 1 o'clock. But there's a lot of good trading. If you don't find something in crude oil, natural gas, look at here. Microsoft is ripping up nicely. Meta is ripping up nicely. Amazon is ripping up nicely. NVIDIA, wow, look at NVIDIA. She's just ripping up long, and I'm also trading it. I got a nice scalp in yesterday, and that's still running. TQQ is ripping up nicely, up over 3%. There's a lot of really good stuff out there. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Lululemon here. Look at Race. Everything is just ripping up higher here. So if you can't find your money into one thing, just boom, branch out, get yourself something else. Okay, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.